What's up, y'all? How you guys doing? Today, I'm going to be making a quick video about MMR or matchmaking rating. Now, this is a concept that I've been getting some questions about, so I'm just going to make a video explaining exactly what it is and how it works. So basically, MMR or matchmaking rating is the number that decides actually who you play with. So a lot of people think, especially people who are new to ranked or who are new to kind of ranking systems, think that your rank decides who you play with. But that's not actually true. Your MMR is the number that decides who you play with. So that's how you can get people who are gold 4 playing with much higher rated people or playing with much lower rated people. So let's break down how this actually works. Now, the first thing to know is that Riot hides the exact formula and the exact kind of way that it works under the hood, but we know the concepts of how it works, so we can use that to make sure we use it to our advantage. So MMR impacts who we play with. Now that's important because if you're gold 4, but you have way higher MMR, so you're playing with plat players, you're going to gain way more LP, right? If you're gold 4, but you're playing with way lower rated players, you're going to gain less LP and you're going to lose more. So the reason this is important is it dictates how much LP we gain. It dictates who we play with. It dictates the rank average of our games. This is actually how you tell your MMR. You see the average of the people you're playing with, and that will generally give you a good idea of where you're at. So let's talk about how it actually works. So as we said, it's actually just a number. We're going to use 1200. Every number we use here is going to be a placeholder. And now this number is going to throw you into a game. It's going to throw you into a game of roughly around your numbers. So let's say we have an MMR of 1200 and the game average is also 1200. Well, if we win this game, we're going to gain 10 MMR. If we lose, we're going to lose 10 MMR. It's pretty simple if your MMR matches the game's MMR. This is important because if your MMR and your rank match, your LP gains and your MMR should generally match. But as we start to talk about some tricky things, this actually changes a little bit. So let's say that we're a 1200 player with our MMR, but we decide to duo somebody with a way lower matchmaking rating. So, that would be an example of, let's say you're a gold player, you're doing with like a low silver player. That's actually going to take the average of you two and drop you guys into, let's say, a 1000 average MMR gain. Well, now, if you win this game, you're going to gain less MMR because you're expected to win. Where if you lose, you're going to lose more MMR. Now, if you do this out a couple of times, your MMR starts to deflate way faster than your LP does. But once you start to play solo again, let's say you do this 10 times, your rank will still be in roughly the same spot, even if you go, especially if you go 50-50. So let's say you win 5 and you lose 5. Your rank's going to be the exact same. But after 10 games, your MMR is going to be way lower. This is why you don't really want to duo with people lower than you. If you duo with people lower than you and you lose, it hurts a lot. And if you win, it doesn't really gain you a lot. So you really only want to do it with people who are rated higher than you, if you can. Or if you're doing something lower with you, you want to know that you guys will win lots. Now, anytime you can kind of create a discrepancy between your MMR and your rank is a time where you can change your MMR. So another common way that people lose a bunch of MMR is by losing at 0 LP. So let's say you just promoted to gold and you're a happy camper and you're at 0 LP and you don't have a demotion shield, so you think you're safe. Well, your MMR is still 1200. And if you queue up and you lose, your rank's not going to move. Your rank's going to stay right here. And here, let's scroll down to kind of visualize this. Your rank, your MMR. If you're at gold 4 0 LP, and let's use that 1200 number again for our MMR, and you lose, I'm going to say this is an L, we're still going to be gold 4 0 LP, but now we just lost 20 MMR. So now we're at, I don't know, something like this, right? Well, if you lose again, your rank is not going to move, but your MMR is going to keep going down, and you keep going down and down and down. Well, at this point, after you've lost a couple, if you win, you're not going to gain as much. You're going to gain, say we get a win. So now we're gold 4, 15 LP. Actually, you're going to start gaining less LP than you should. So So we'll say we gain like 13 LP because our MMR is down here, right? And you'll be back up to 1180, but this is still lower. We're higher LP with a lower MMR. That happened because our rank wasn't moving, but our MMR was. Another way this happens is dodging, because dodging actually has the opposite effect and it impacts us in a positive way, because dodging does not impact your MMR, which is awesome. So let's say that, again, we're gold for 0 LP and we have 1200 MMR, and then we dodge a game, right? A D for dodge. Now we're going to go to -3 LP, which you actually can go negative. If you dodge at 0 LP, you do not demote, but you do go negative. So you have to regain it back still. So we go -3 LP, but our MMR stayed the same. So now our rank is lower, but we're going to gain extra LP. Okay, well, let's say we dodge again in the same day. So now we lose 10 LP for this dodge. We're at -13 LP, but again, our MMR hasn't changed. So dodging is a way that you can positively impact your MMR. So we talked about how MMR is this number. We talked about duoing. We talked about dodging. Those are all really, really important things. Now, I'm going to introduce to you guys another number. Along with the normal number that we just talked about, there's actually a secondary number called, I guess the easiest way to call it is the confidence number. And this is usually talked about as your K value or confidence. I don't know why. But so your confidence value decides how much your MMR is able to move. So a very fresh account is going to have like 1200 MMR with a K value of like 90. And it's going to be like, who knows how, like, who knows where this guy actually is? So based off of your games, your MMR is going to bounce up and down a lot more. Now, as you play, let's say you play 100 games and you stayed at 1200 MMR. Well, now the system is very confident that you're at the right rank. So your K value is going to decrease a ton. And then it's going to come down to like 10. And it's going to say, okay, so even if this guy goes on a win streak, he probably got lucky. So we're going to make sure that he doesn't shoot up in MMR. So we're actually going to try to keep him down a little bit, right? And that's what your K value is. Now, this is important because it can make, it's designed to get you stuck in a rank. It's designed that way because it wants you to stay in a rank that you're comfortable in, that you're 50-50 in, right? This is how it's intended to work. This is a good thing. This makes the rating system work. Where people get tripped up on is they think that they can't increase their confidence value. You can. There's a lot of ways to increase it. The two simplest ways are a really big win streak. So if you go on a really big win streak, and I'm talking like 10 plus games, your confidence value will break, quote unquote, and it will reset. And then it'll be like, whoa, this guy's won way more than we thought he could at this rank. He must have learned something. He's way different than when we thought he was. Reset his confidence value. And that's one way to do that. Another way to soft reset it is to actually promote. Now, if you promote into a division, into like a new tier. So if you go from gold 1 to platinum 4 or platinum 1 to diamond 4, that will also soft reset your confidence value. They're like, whoa, this guy's going into uncharted territory. Let's see how this goes. Now, lots of people kind of come under the assumption that they need to buy a new account to reset their K value or to reset their MMR in general, especially if their MMR gets a lot worse than where their rank is. You don't really need to buy a new account, and I actually say you shouldn't do that because let's say that you are a bronze player and your MMR is like 900, but new accounts start at an MMR of 1200. But, and they have this really high K value where your K value, your confidence level is very low. If you buy a new account, you're going to have to spend 10, 20, 30, 50 games getting the new account in games that are very random, that aren't in your correct ELO, that you can't practice in. You're going to have to play those getting back to your right ELO, where on your old account, you're already in your right ELO, right? The ELO system is very good over a large sample size of putting you in a spot where you're 50-50. So you just need to learn how to solve that puzzle. That time spent on the new account could be spent improving in your correct ELO. So I'm making this video to say MMR is always fixable. Pretty much every high ELO player has a point in their career where their MMR is really bad and they went to go They found a way to fix it, including myself. I had this problem that I talked about earlier in the video where I lost at 0 LP every time I promoted to a division, and it was just a nightmare to get out of that. I think the worst I had was like plus 10, minus 20. It was awful, but I was able to repair that, and my LP gains are good now. So MMR is fixable. Don't buy a new account to fix MMR because you're going to waste a lot of time playing in a spot where you shouldn't be playing in. You're going to waste a lot of good practice. So don't start a new account. I just wanted to shed some light on how the system works. If you guys didn't know how it worked, or I hope you guys learned something. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Again, the real numbers are pretty well hidden by Riot, but this is the very basis of how an ELO system works. I guess the last thing I'll add is the way that you check your MMR. There's a couple of websites that are okay at it, but the most consistent way is to actually just go onto your op.gg. I'm going to pull one up here really quick and just see who you're playing with on average. So if you look at your solo queue games, you're seeing silver 1, gold 4, silver 1, silver 1. This tells us you have a silver 1 to gold 4 MMR. As the gold 4 player, that means your MMR is probably a little bit low compared to your rank, but it's not too bad. So this average rank is really how you tell your MMR. I hope you guys learned something from this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.